who to call when you have ghosts. But who do you call when you have monsters?
We're the Monster Squad. What's a squad? It's like Miami Vice, I think.
They're young and inexperienced.
Naughty virgins.
They're a bit disorganized.
Monsters are not real.
We don't know that, sir.
2,000-year-old dead guys do not get up and walk away by themselves.
But when strange things start happening in town...
There's a monster in my closet.
Ooh, look at that big, scary monster!
What's happening? 2 ways to kill a werewolf.
Silver bullet?
they're the only ones ready to do battle.
Something's out there that's killing people. And if it's monsters, nobody's gonna do a thing about it but us.
Soon the creatures of the night shall rule the world.
Real monsters? Us? Midnight. In the world, remember? Maybe we can be like Mask Squad instead, you know. Do mask bombs.
We got 1035. Stick back up. Hurry
Or Nature Squad.
The book is right. Don't you think it's all true?
By midnight,
You guys!
they won't seem so young anymore. The Monster Squad.
Wolfman's gone mad.
The best line in the entire movie is right there at the end of that trailer. The Monster Squad is a kids on bikes style horror comedy that blends elements of E.T., The Goonies, and classic Universal horror monsters to create what I consider to be a better experience than any of its individual inspirations, except maybe some of the original Universal horror films. The Monster Squad was directed by Fred Decker, who wrote and directed Night of the Creeps and worked on the Tales from the Crypt show on HBO, and co-written by Shane Black, who wrote and directed Predator. I'll be talking about another of my favorite Fred Decker films later this month. A group of kids from a small town have formed a club idolizing classic monsters. Dracula resurfaces with a plan to plunge the world into darkness with help from Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, the Mummy, and the Gill Man. The group of friends transform the Monster Club into the Monster Squad to stop Dracula from ruling the world by using their knowledge of monster lore, Abraham Van Helsing's journal, and a little help from their neighbor, Scary German Guy. Stan Winston does a great job bringing the classic Universal monsters to life while dodging copyright issues by making them identifiable as the monsters they are meant to represent without making them carbon copies. The atmosphere of the prologue I feel also deserves praise thanks to Garrett Lewis, who was set director for this and Bram Stoker's Dracula, and David M. Haber, who was art director for this and for Ice Pirates, which I will get to eventually. Andre Gower does a great job as the courageous leader Sean, while Ryan Lambert almost plays a young Han Solo in Rudy, who seems like he's on loan from The Outsiders. Duncan Regier plays one of the most underrated iterations of Dracula in film in my opinion. He is both charismatic and menacing, reminding the audience that Dracula is truly the master of monsters. Tom Noonan's portrayal of Frankenstein's monster is endearing and puts me in mind of an oversized E.T. as he bonds with Sean's younger sister Phoebe. The Monster Squad is one of the few movies on this list that could actually work to introduce kids to horror. It's rated PG-13, but this is PG-13 in 1987. There are scenes in the film that are genuinely terrifying, and the dialogue is on the edge of raw in that way a film marketed to younger teens was in the 80s. The Monster Squad was my introduction to classic Universal monsters, which drove me to check out the Crestwood House Monster Series books at my school library to learn all I could about them. If you like other movies where the kids are the heroes, especially when the kids do battle with the supernatural or the paranormal, you owe it to yourself to see Monster Squad. It's the original Stranger Things. I say press play as soon as possible. See if you can spot Uncle Rico.